What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo. Today we have my number 4 player of 2022. It's getting hot. It's getting very, very hot. And we are doing the number 4 player is going to be... Do I spoil it? He has a 1 in his name. Hey. He opts in this demo. He is he's part of a 1-2 punch that I feel like is the best 1-2 punch in Counter-Strike today. This player missed out on blast events this year. Oh, I tried to lead you astray, but at the same time, I think you have an idea of where we're headed. This guy is my rifler of the year. I said he opted in this demo. I didn't say it the whole time. He is my rifler of the year. He is a guy who I think, again, is the electronic of the year. It's the first time in a long time where it feels like there is an Opera Rifler combo that is this powerful, and he is one half of that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My Rifler of the Year, number 4 player of the year, is Axile. We didn't get to see him in some tournaments this year because of Blast. They picked up Dallas as their big LAN win of the year. They took down FaZe, which is a demo that we're going to watch. Axile is the MVP of that event, even though he has Shiro beside him, who is just ripping through players and getting unreal stats. Axile kind of epitomizes what it means to be a rifler. These days, he has perfect crosshair placement. He's fast as f***. He has some of the best flicks and aim and craziest shots that we've seen being hit. He is very consistent and the most consistent. And honestly, I talk about it in the conclusion a little bit, but this team of Cloud9 is actually more about the individuals of Shiro and Axile than it is about the team, because it feels like these are the 2 highest performing players side by side of any of the duos of any of the other top teams, and yet they are seeing some of the least amount of success. Chew on that. It always felt like Cloud9 were unique and about the team, but more thoughts in the conclusion. Stick around for that. But yeah, Axile, here's my number 4. So let's waste no time. Hop into the demo and watch him play CT Mirage, and it's one of his core positions, playing off Cat versus FaZe at Dallas. Why don't we call him Neo Nico for the sake of it? Axile, you know him by his crosshair, right? The guy, you know him by his position playing on Cat. And you know that he has been a monster and the most electronic since electronic in terms of being a right-hand man to this star Opera that we've seen in this game in some time. Shiro and him both have had great years. That's all. Yes, we haven't seen Shiro yet in the top 20, so hopefully he made it, because right now I would say that him and Axile are the strongest 1-2 punch of any roster, any team. We didn't see them play at the World Final, but we obviously can't get obsessed with recency bias. When we look at the grander scheme of things here this year, for someone like Axile, it has been nothing but net in terms of his impact. And his one tournament that they won, he was the MVP holder, not Shiro, at Dallas. Pretty unreal stuff. He's done it with a rifle. He's a guy who I feel like is like Neo Nico, because he's got absolutely perfect crosshair placement, very good headshot percentage, insanely good specifically with rifles. And then again, he's like more electronic than anyone else, just because he is the guy who is putting up numbers almost as high as Shiro, who is putting up astronomical numbers, which is crazy. And he opts. I don't remember this round. This is from Dallas. Versus FaZe, which is obviously the big win of the event, even though it wasn't their finals, just because FaZe were one of the teams that they had to be able to beat. This boost is huge in the underpass, and you could catch a slow Brokey back to underpass, or anybody else. Twist could be under there, watch on the right side by window. If they aren't spotting that, Brokey playing it very safe though, and not holding off to the right at all. Not even jiggling a little bit, okay? Now, the cool part about Axile for me is that sometimes, like, he'll play very disciplined. Like, he's like the Karate Kid. He kicks the pole like 10,000 times to strengthen his shin, and then it's much scarier to fight a man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, one kick 10,000 times, than it is to practice 10,000 kicks. That's Axile, disciplined, perfect with what he does. But then all of a sudden, he'll throw kick number 2 and jump out of the window and start swinging. Like, He does do that. And I think that's what I need to see personally to be like, yeah, he's a standout star player. I can't see someone be too disciplined and then really just get enamored with them. Wow, we're getting so many XL rounds with an op. It's actually kind of cool. I didn't expect to see that. You almost never see XL opping in general, so why would there be a reason to when you have Shira on the team? But he hasn't lost it yet, and it's only just benefiting them more and more. Kerrigan's like, well, yeah, it looks like he still has it. Remember we talked about on Cat, keeping your connector player happy by keeping that bottom of steps completely vacant is important, whether it's smokes or mollies, so... Well, he's really swinging this around. Let's see if Axel can have some impact here, actually. There's a chance he's in jungle. Yeah, uh-oh. Well, that's okay. Well... There's... Surely this guy dies soon. Whoever's there. Unless it's Twist. Twist's gonna get the kill. They're trying to dislodge him by waiting, making him uncomfortable. He could come back to connector though this time, right? Let's see. Oh, it's Rops, okay. Yeah, Rops will also get the kill. That's a nice one. And Axel is hella fast, man. He is as fast as all the elite oppers and everything like that too. I mean, he's not an opper, but he really is quick as hell. Sorry about that. Finger got a little heavy. Stronger than I think. It's Canadian strength. Maple syrup power. No, he jumped Cat on this. Okay. As they did fast window smokes as well. Brookie got melted down. Again, perfect crosshair placement is massive with your Cat players and with Axel on top of everything else. This is also a play that was very meta this year, and this is kind of early on in the year. But a good display of it and why it's powerful. Now, most of the time you're smoking underneath the underpass, but here they have a push with another player, and they almost transition into the boost. And look at this, they're putting him back on the op. Wow. Across the series, Axel had unreal impact versus FaZe. This is just one half of one map where he did well. This position is... It's impossible to beat, really. I mean, you have to really mess up bad. I mean, you've got to get Fs to be able to lose a kill at first underpass in the spot. Even if they hard clear you, I don't care. You're literally staring down at their head, they're staring up at your feet. If you get headshotted, you're a moron. I'm sorry. It can happen, but it's probably not going to happen. It's a great spot, but it's only opened up by somebody sitting inside a window. And actually, you know, your window guy, they can have their gun sticking out a little bit, okay? Because if you have your gun sticking out a little bit, then it draws the underpass player up a little bit farther, disarms them a little bit more, and they think the CTs are making some kind of mistake. So feel free to show that scope off if you have that sort of setup. But you don't stand there unless your window guy's alive, because you can just get swung on from mid with no nades. It'll happen a lot. Time to get into the round here. It seems like Axel playing this so slowly actually gives himself a chance to... Oh, wow. If he peeked early, maybe he gets spotted by Kerrigan and loses connector control, so just favored staying alive in a very important spot. Walking right here on Cat is important. Key. If you don't walk right there, then you don't hear that rush that could come your way. This is a flash for everybody that's in connector and window, just to threaten. There's no one there to peek with it. And the bottom connector smoke as well, again. Cat players are throwing support grenades for connector. Connector players are not really smoking Cat. Pretty much ever. It's almost exclusively everyone throwing grenades for your connector player. Connector requires the most support. Keep connector smoked 2023. If you think that there's going to be a B rush, you don't really want to be here as much as you want to be in the site, but closer to the pillar is great. Here it's a little uncomfortable because they're going to jump out. I'm going to explain this right now. There's no attack coming in. Okay. So this area right here is great for stopping Cat. And it's not bad for stopping the window. It's not bad for stopping the van run out. Right here, it's a little bit worse than right here specifically. But what you do normally, okay, if you're playing here on Cat and the B rush comes, you can throw your molly down here if your dedicated B player doesn't do that. You can take a hard line to the window if you're really far back and then fall back to right here. and then hold the cross across the site, okay? Because then you're just countering T pathing. So T's jump out the window and they cross, and then they cross, and their goal is to kill anybody who's back empty pillar and clear out all the middle of the site angles by running across the site as fast as possible and threaten that they can play in this position, just shut off rotations right away. So the CT can just hold the cross here, even not knowing how many people have jumped out or whatever. As long as you hold this cross, you stop them from getting control of this part of the site, and then the T's don't have enough to win the round. The CTs will win the retake with control of this area. So your B anchor is one thing. You let them do what they want, but you don't want to stand out here, for example, or you don't want to stand here and open yourself up to deeper get right angles or fight people who could be crossing out, unless you want to just totally hide. Just take this off angle, shut yourself off from the window entirely, and make sure that the T's can't take this part of the site, and then you have a good spot. So what I was saying before is that, let's say a full B rush is coming, you don't really want to be back here. Ideally, if you knew B rush was coming, you would want to be part of the fight within the site, or playing off the pillar, or being able to get your nade out early, playing off the pillar, watching the jump out, all that, just getting early info and really being active with your teammate, supporting the fight. Sometimes it's okay to be back here, but sometimes it's not because you don't have anywhere to fall back to. But either way, well, Axel does get a lot of action there. Wow, clean one. Headshot right to the top of mid, man. Axel, no one does it quite like Axel. When it comes to the long range AK headshots, really a lot like Simple. I mean, a lot like Nico. Phasing this window smoke is a really important play. So if there's pressure on connector, people will forget about this window smoke coming up. That's why you see it happen so much at pro level. It's a calculated effort from the CT side to put pressure on connector as that smoke comes up in window, so you can punish from the left side of window, and there will be small timings for you available to get that kill. It's one of the most, I want to say best, it's risky, but it's one of the most popular ways to get back info on mid after the window smokes are coming up. They're coming up like 3 times around these days. Of course I would. Okay, side hit coming in. Beautiful spray control. I mean, amazing spray control right there. Talk about that with Nico sometimes, but just Axel, man, hats off with that spray control. Excellent stuff. Yeah, he'll get pushed now, but it's over. Round is over. Axel's won it. Nothing to worry about. Oh, he takes the fight, even though Twist turns around. And he gets an ace. He gets the full-on ace right there. Axel kills everybody. Rain top mid, 2 in CT spawn. That's it. Bodies on bodies, Axel. An ace in Dallas. The champion of America. Hopefully we have more American tournaments. Maybe Canadian. You never know. Who knows? Tournaments this year, 2023. That would be great. And remember, real friends Molly underpass. If you're a friend of the connector player, if it's someone you don't like, don't Molly underpass. If it's someone you want to go, you really want to help out, you think that they can help you win the rounds, Molly underpass for them. It's just as important as Mollying connector. And you can see what that does for his rotation when he's coming out of ladder room, keeping underpass mollied. Molly top boxes if you want to be a friend as well. Top boxes is the first goal line of the T's on mid, and Mirage is a lot about mid, just like a lot of maps are a lot about mid. Look at Axel, good friend, smoking connector, keep connector smoked up. And Axel, when you look at the heat maps of him playing Mirage, almost one of the most strict in terms of how much he just plays cat between that area that I showed in the minimap segment. Very, very tight with it in terms of how much he moves around. Not much at all. Oh, and here his teammate gets a kill. Like, it's free. Inters gets a kill. It's free for Axel. He's fully baiting. He's looking to flank in that position. Axel takes Rops out. Doesn't even let Rops look him in the eyes when he does it. The assassin. Look at this. More baiting. But you know what? Because it's Axel, you know he's going to make it worth your while. If Axel says bait for me, you jump. As the saying goes. Okay. Axel, baby. Number 4 for me this year. I know it's high. It's high. Am I high? No, I haven't smoked in 10 years. But Axel, dude, this year, he went crazy. He was insanely crisp. If we had him at more blast events, I think he would have just cleaned up even more, which is scary to think about. He, for me, is Rifler of the Year. He is somebody who I think, again, I'm just enamored with this idea of him being this right-hand man, electronic, while electronic isn't being electronic, and him and Shiro, this 1-2 punch, and Cloud9 having an unbelievable year outside of, they didn't beat out Heroic, who ended up winning the LAN final, the big LAN final in Blastball Finals at the end of the year, but picking up Dallas, huge stats. I think Maui has been really right about this team in one sense of, the last comment he made to me was that they're kind of like one move away from being great, and he mentioned that they're like TSM when TSM went from Kerrigan to Glaive, and then won E-League Atlanta 2017, my favorite major. Of course, the IGL problem now, Nafany, I still believe in giving him more time because he's such a good individual on top of being responsible for the system. But I think there's rumors that, well, not rumors, but there's been personal accounts that he's had help as an IGL, and he has problems that he's not a perfect IGL, and Groove was a huge part of their online success. Well, maybe if they did change their IGL, or if Nafany got better as an IGL, this team would have way more. So they would be able to be top 1. They would be able to be top 1 straight up. And that's crazy because, again, when we look at Shiro and Axel, Rifler and Opper, this is the best 2 top fraggers of any team in the world. Better than FaZe, better than Na'Vi, better than Vitality, better than G2, better than everybody. Better than Heroic, better than who's even left. So that's something to chew on, that these guys performing despite their team actually not being as good as they should be as a team, and maybe missing out on some deeper runs. So that's Axel, number 4. Who's number 3? You let me know. Talk soon in the next video. Did I do an intro?